All right, we're on air. Well, this is this working? Okay, maybe I need it a little higher. Okay. Well, I hope everybody's doing well on this. They do it once a year. I've had a little more people. Maybe we can entice people to continue and stay and work with us here. So that'd be good. Before we into our Bible class, let's go ahead. Thank you for your great that you've done for us. And we pray, Lord, that the things that we learn in our Bible classes are helpful, and that the worship we have today will be a sweet aroma for you. And Lord, for all of those members that are unable to be with us for whatever reason, for safety, if they're sick, we pray for healing, shut in and can't get for them. And we know the frustration of not being able to do the things you used to do. But Lord, we ask you to be with them and bless them. Or whatever the reason, if they're working, take. But if it at all possible that they ever come back and join us again in worship, we would love to see them, and we pray, Lord, that you'll help that to happen in their lives. And so we're thankful as always, as you always have. And help us, Lord, to trust in the answers to our prayers that you give us. And this we pray in your Son's name. Then, being with child. He starts, pictured in this sign is a woman. And this woman represents the bride of Christ. And great tribulation be made to give birth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion and 7 diadems on his heads. Now this fiery red dragon is the serpent that it is also in the left. Imagery here is of the sweet army. And so the Rome is over. And that's why it says drew them down to earth. It took control of them. Accurate, but that's how they saw it. And so they didn't care if you're a Christian or a Jew. We're taking you. We're going to get you. And so this is why this warning is so important. The Christians had to either be prepared to endure and survive, or endure to death, or escape. One or the other. One of those had to happen. In verse 5, she bore a male child who was to rule. The word she is referring to the mother, to a child, and the word child, but woman, child, even though it appears to be singular in our language, in the Greek, it's actually a plural. And it's also neuter in gender. And so being caught up to God is victory over death. So
I have another analogy here. When you look at this, and I'm not going to be long with it, but first you have the woman with having the child, then you have the dragon coming in. But the ultimate thing is not the church, but it is Christ, to me now. Mm-hmm. Christ is going to be victorious over the dragon. And this sign that we're getting here is showing us the things that was going to happen. And they happened. Christ came, he was born, and he so what I'm trying to say,
it's kind of hard to separate the church from Christ. It's all.
See, because 68 years, Christ was here for 30-some years. It wasn't that that much time for the church, but it was showing the salvation is going to be coming because the Lord is going to be victorious
Yes.
over Satan. And then it says,
Yes.
as you get on down in there, this is why we're going to celebrate.
Yes.
Because we're going to be victorious. And the way we're going to be victorious is through Christ.
That's right.
And so that's what
Yes,
see.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without Christ, we have no power
Right.
to overcome, and so we need Christ for sure. In verse 6 it says, "Then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God that they should feed her there 1,260 days." The church, the bride of Christ, that was caught up in that siege in Jerusalem, as we talked about earlier, escaped to flee to the hills and mountains around Jerusalem to find refuge. That actually happened. When the Roman armies came, a lot of Christians did escape and flee to the mountains. Some Christians died in that siege, and they died as martyrs. And Jesus predicted this himself in Matthew 24, verses 16 to 22. "Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him who is on the housetop not go down to take anything out of his house. And let him who is in the field not go back to get his clothes. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or be great tribulation, such as not been since the beginning of the world until this time. No, nor shall ever be. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. But the elect's sake, those days will be shortened." Again, this is one of those passages that is often referred to the second coming of Christ, and that you're saying, you might not need to go get your stuff out of your house because the Lord's coming. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the destruction. Can you imagine if you're pregnant or a nursing mother and having to flee? That's difficulty of trying to getting out of coming. And so this is why the warning is here. But he said, let's be careful here. This is a warning. Be prepared. And when he says it's such been since the beginning of the world until this time shall ever be, he people massacre. Just witness this. In the siege, and how they began that back, and in that short, and it had to be a